Look, I have to say something. Here, I'm gonna come to your level. Can you see me? Am I here? There's a wire in my face. Hi. That wire is even worse. Sound guys, help. I need a wireless. God damn it. This sucks. It's the taping. It's killing me. But I wanted to take a moment to just briefly talk about how difficult it is to actually work towards something that you want. I have found that the biggest deterrent of building my dream life has just been my laziness and the world we've kind of built for ourselves with social media. I'm sitting here taping 34 pieces of paper together with the vision of building a beautiful dress, and my brain just keeps going, this is so tedious. This is so unfun. You could actually just turn on your phone and start scrolling, and the dopamine hit is gonna feel so much better. But that's how I reached almost 34 years old without actually having built any sort of skill whatsoever. So instead of quitting, instead of scrolling, I was really hard on myself and was like, don't be an idiot. Keep working on your dress. And I've set myself a little goal of at least finish taping all 34 pieces of paper together and then go start cooking lunch. This is all gonna come together in a year, and I'm gonna make a big video of how I changed my life in 365 days. So let's hope it's an amazing change. So every year I sit down and I write goals for each month. This month, my goal was make a dress from beginning to end and actually complete it. So here I am to show you that process of making a little dress. I told myself I could just use the muslin I have in my house. I didn't want to spend any money doing it. So anything that I used in this video is something I already owned. I'm trying to do a very low expenditure year. So here we go. I had very little vision of what I wanted the dress to be, other than the fact that everything I do is slightly tinged with fantasy inspiration, whether that be fantasy novels or fantasy video games. So I knew I wanted to make some sort of long dress. It could be like a peasant dress. I didn't want to go full-blown gown because I knew that might be a little bit out of my expertise at the moment. I do have a background in sewing, but she a background plot at this point. So I wanted to make something that was simple, just a bodice, a skirt. I ended up finding a free pattern. It was a little more complicated than I thought it was gonna be, but at the same time, it was just, the pattern was there. I cut out all the pieces. I sewed the dress together. It came together really well, and I just wanna bring you guys along for the ride if you wanted a fun little sewing video to watch in the interim. On the note of this sucks and it's hard, this tape it's so cheap. It is so cheap. Do you see the rip? Do you see the rip? I have spent half my day spending most of my time trying to rip this tape so it won't rip up the middle or down the side. 40 minutes and 33 pieces of paper later, it is lunchtime. Woo! Post-lunch, I got to work actually cutting out all the pattern pieces, and this proved a little difficult because they put all the sizes all together on one page, which isn't always the way. See, sometimes when you purchase a pattern off of Etsy or download a pattern, you can put it into Acrobat Reader and then go into the layers section, and it'll show you how to take away the sizes that you don't need. Whereas here, I just kind of had to cut it out with all the sizes on one page. So I am currently sitting on the skirt pattern that is completely cut out. It's pretty big. It's pretty big because it's a full-length skirt. So now all I have left is to go ahead and cut down all the bodice pieces. Now I gotta be careful because I am I'm making a small. So this is a free pattern. Had I not mentioned that before, but I think I'm gonna mention that. I have this pattern, comes in a variety of sizes, and I'm gonna make myself the small. So now we're just gonna go ahead and cut out all these beautiful pieces. I think my goal for the rest of the day is maybe get all the pieces cut out of the paper pattern and then at least the skirt cut out, if not all the bodice pieces. It's very doable. Like, this whole project is doable in a day. It's just, do I have other things that I need to take care of today? Kind of, in that I'm working on a couple crochet projects as well. So we'll see. Okay, so I've got all my pieces cut out. Let me show you. I'm trying not to yell because I feel like every time I do talk at my normal volume, the mic goes, Okay, so we've got all of our pattern pieces cut out. They are all labeled. So this is every bodice piece, front and back. Front has 3 pieces, I think. 3 front, 2 back. What I'm gonna do is lay out all these pieces onto my fabric, and I'm gonna cut everything out. Here, I'll show you the skirt, which is oh, this is the skirt. I gotta back away. This is the skirt. So one is cut on the fold, which is the front, and then one is cut as 2 mirrored pieces, and that's it. So let's get this all cut out in fabric. Again, I'm gonna be working on my floor because, as any seamstress knows, having an actual huge cutting table in one's home, not entirely feasible. Hopefully for me one day it is in my basement. We'll see. Babe, can you make me a little table? Okay, let's go. I'm just gonna ask one thing of you guys. Am I in frame? Be better than past Julianne and be as good as current Julianne when you're pinning down your patterns to your fabric. Make sure they're straight, and don't be like past me and look at a crooked pattern piece and go, it's fine, it's not gonna make a difference. They have grain lines for a reason, and you should follow them. I know it sucks if you've pinned them all down and you're like, man, everything's crooked. Repin them. Also, my advice that I'm not following right here, what I usually like to do is cut a piece off of my giant roll here and actually iron the whole thing out. It feels like a waste of time, but like this is kind of stuck in there because this ream of muslin has been rolled up for so many years. It looks like I'm wasting a lot of fabric because of how far apart I've spaced my stuff. I'm just avoiding the wrinkles. And the selvage edges don't match up perfectly, so that makes me nervous. And because I haven't sewn properly in years and years, I am a little bit of a novice, and I want to avoid anything that might slip me up. So don't feel guilty about wasting a little bit of fabric if you feel like it gives you a little bit more control or a little bit more of a peace of mind. Here to tell you, don't feel bad, guys. Don't. That's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy. Just feel good, because it's a decision. It's a mental decision, so you should make the decision to not feel bad. Okay, anyway, I'm going to keep pinning this because I'm not done. Once the pinning was complete, I just went ahead and cut out all the pieces. I then proceeded to do something wrong by pinning them bad side to bad side, which means the bad sides ended up being the outside of the dress. So you can't really see it in the end, but all the bodice pieces have little chalk markings on them where it says like center front, center back, but whatever. I should also mention that this pattern did have seam allowance in the actual pattern. So when I was tracing it out, that is with the 1/2 inch seam allowance. So that was really lovely. Once everything was pinned, this is where the fun really starts. As everybody knows, our favorite moment in sewing is threading your machine, which, you know, at this point I do in 5 seconds flat. Look at that. Professional. And then, yeah, I went ahead and sewed all the bodice pieces together, which was fun and relatively easy. No complaints. 10 out of 10, 5 stars. Now, I'll try not to spoil it, but this is where I sat down and put an entire gathering stitch across the waist of the dress that turned out to actually be the hem of the dress. And I don't show myself having a mental breakdown about that, but you'll see in a bit that the gathering stitch in the end, was not my friend no matter where I put it. Flash forward to the next morning when I get myself up out of bed and right back into the room to press open all of my seams. Always press your seams and always cut your threads, guys, please. And now everybody's favorite moment, pinning in the cups of the bodice, which is very similar to pinning in a shirt sleeve. It's hell on earth, as you might know from experience, or you might not, but I'm letting you know it's hellish. Love you. And then sewing it is just as hellish. You gotta be real slow, real careful, take your time. Don't rush it, because then you have to unpick it and then do it again anyway, so no rushing. And this is an important portion of any bodice building, or again, putting in sleeves. Always notch your curves, it makes them lie better. And here we are, the gathering stitch. my enemy, my nemesis, the thing that I will never try again, but I probably will if I gather something that isn't a really thick muslin fabric. I was trying to do it evenly across the whole thing, but because it had seams, because it's so thick, and because Silly Julianne only did one gathering stitch rather than two, it ripped. The stitch just came out. So what I ended up doing in the end is I just did it by hand. I pinned right in the places where the seams would meet from the bodice to the skirt, and then I just gathered from there by hand, by sight. It doesn't look bad. It's obviously not as even as you might get with a gathering stitch, but for a dress that I did in a couple days, I'm very, very happy with how it turned out. And again, press those seams. I forget what the rule is, but I pressed them up. I forget if the rules, it just felt right. I was gonna set up my camera all nicely, but then my cat got in my lap, and now I can't move because it's against the law.
Right? Wanna see something?
I hope you heard his little purrs. Pardonnez-moi. Okay, hi. We are back with my dressmaking endeavors. So where we last left off a couple days ago is I finished putting everything together essentially. I have two places that need a little bit of work. The bust line is crooked, so I need to fix that. And there's some puckering in the crotchal region. I could redo the skirt because I've bunched it too close to the crotch and it looks a little weird. But I'm not going to because this is it's just a practice. It's just to practice, and I'm not gonna change it because I'm too lazy. Subsequent to that, we are finally gonna set up the dreaded serger. I don't want to. I've always wanted a serger, but I know the horrors of setting one up because I've never done it. I've only been told to never do it. In school, because I went to school for costume design, I have a bachelor's degree in costume and set design for theater production. Technically, I've forgotten the title of the degree. Every time we were in the costume shop, it was like on pain of death. Do not touch any of the serger threads. Do not remove them. If one breaks, go get the professor immediately. It's like absolutely, 5-alarm fire if something happens with the serger. So part of my time today is going to be sitting down and learning how to thread a serger. I'm sure it's not as hard as I think, but I'm going to do that. And then we're going to serge all these raw edges and try our best to finish the dress. I mean, I'm going to set my goals a little low because it's 1 p.m. and I'm already sleepy deepy. I've had a big day so far. I saw my mom, then I ate some lunch, and then I ate some popcorn, and then I ate some chocolate. Big day, man. So other than that, yeah, I don't want to strain myself with activities. So let's at least finish fixing the places that need to be fixed, and then we'll see about maybe serging all the edges. Let's make that our goal. And then maybe we sew all the hems and the edges and stuff down. Maybe. Let's not set our sights too high. And these are the two places where I just need to do a little amendment. You can see how off-center that is. And then the puckering at the waistline is just because I basically sewed the fabric crooked. All right, downloading. See, this is why we need cell phones at all times. Digital copies of things. Open. Okay, after a torturous hour, I actually threaded it. We're gonna see if it worked with this scrap piece of fabric. All right. Where's the power button? Because it's a huge piss off that I just spent 30 minutes learning how to do. And the power button to my serger is in there. It's in there. It's up there. It's chilling. I'm so mad. Because fuck this guy. Fuck this guy. How did he? We fucking did it, fam. It worked. See? Look at that. We up and running, we serging, and it has a power button, so maybe I'll serge a dress in a bit. I did indeed serge a dress in a bit. Now that it's all set up and the pain of the power button is complete, I really enjoyed serging all the edges of my dress. It is very satisfying when you have all those edges done, and having it all snipped away and nicely finished is wonderful. I did realize that I should have actually serged all the individual pieces before I sewed them all together. That's just something, like, I know I should have done that. I knew that from the beginning, but I was too lazy. So the serging in the waistline, horrible, and I didn't even get to serge the seams of the bodice, so they're just kind of raw edges, which is whatever. It is a very fast and nasty first project of the year, so I'm happy. Now, unfortunately, for some reason, I didn't film myself actually hemming the dress or finishing any of the edges, but once I was finished serging, I did the neckline and the hem and the armholes. I finished all of that. I hemmed them all. And now the last step is putting in the zipper. I will say I did try on the dress prior to this to make sure it fit, and I was hemming and hawing about putting in grommets and lacing, and I just decided, you know what, I have this zipper that's the identical color to the dress, might as well put that in. So once you're there, don't forget to put in your zipper foot. It does actually make a difference, guys. Just do it. I know it's a pain in the butt. It takes 2 seconds though. I put in an invisible zipper, and as anyone knows, putting in a zipper is hell on earth, much like all of sewing. So, it was shoddily done. It was bad work. I'm not good at zippers. I've never been good at zippers. I actually avoid them at all costs, but it is in and the dress does zip up. So I would say that's a mission accomplished. And here's me as I continue to struggle with the zipper. And here we have it, guys, the final dress. It came out so remarkably well. It fits beautifully. I'm so happy with it. I would absolutely make this dress again in a lighter fabric and wear it every day for the rest of my life. 10 out of 10, would recommend. I will definitely link the pattern in the description below. I will be back with more Etsy business talk and videos about how my business is going. My next video hopefully is going to come out in the next couple weeks. It is about planning and manifesting and journaling and how those things are helping me along the way. So keep an eye out for that one. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!